the takeaways. However, when we send out the recording, it will not include takeaways because we want people to know that this is a very safe space for you to share and be vulnerable. So thank you.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Dina Lageland. I'm one of the co-founders of the Breast Connection. And I'm just so thrilled that you are here tonight. Actually, the four of us, Lisa and Erin and myself, came together a while back, and we just started a community through the four of us about breast health. We wanted women like ourselves to represent self-love, nurturing, and have a community and to connect with each other. And we didn't want to wait till something happened as far as any kinds of conditions or any kind of health issues that we might go through. And we started working together and we started talking, and we decided to create the Breast Connection, Prevention Plus Healing, to educate and empower women out there, all over the world, actually. And we decided firsthand experience through education, compassion, knowledge, and most of all, support and a safe environment for us. So I'm just so happy to be here. And I'd like to introduce the other three co-founders. Lisa, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So thank you all for being here. This is just, we are always filled with gratitude and love for everyone that comes to this community. My name is Lisa Casenti, and I'm so honored to be a part of this with Dina, Ann, and Erin. I'm a single mama. I'm a breast cancer thriver, and I was actually diagnosed when my daughter was 9 months of age, and I had to wean her from breastfeeding before I could start my treatment. So kind of my part in the group is to have that. I come from that perspective, being a new mama, all of that that had to occur, being a new mama and going through breast cancer. So that's part of my role here. And also, as I was going through my breast cancer journey, I was looking for tools that were going to support me in my health. I was introduced to a biotechnology that not only did it help me in my own health, but it gave me my dad back. And he had a different health crisis that was happening. So I became an accidental entrepreneur and I educate people internationally. So thank you so much for letting me share. And let's move on to Ann Crook so she can introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ann Crook, and I'm located in Nashville, Tennessee. And I am filled with joy and gratitude at the launch of the Breast Connection for each and every one of you being here. Tomorrow, April 13th, is my 4-year anniversary of being diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer. And I'm happy to say I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving. I'm 4 years out, and part of the reason I'm thriving is not just the power of community and having a healing sisterhood, but it's also meeting Melissa 2 years ago, and she introduced me to the power of functional medicine detox. And I was able to completely transform my health and reclaim my life as a result. So I'm really happy she's speaking today. My business, Integrative Radiance, supports women in midlife that are struggling with chronic health challenges, feeling stuck, exhausted, and overwhelmed, to transform their health and reclaim their life. So now I am paying it forward, and it is a joy to be here, and I'm so happy to see all of you. So now I will pass it to Erin.
Amazing. Thank you, Ann. Well, I'll tell you a little story about how I got into this work. I'm a massage therapist by trade, and one day I had a woman come into my treatment room, and I understood about mastectomies, but I'd never actually seen it before. And of course, I was really curious. What do the scars look like? She showed me, it was so brave, just right off the hopper. She was like, do you want to see what the scars look like? And I was like, yes, of course. So she removed her shirt, and I got to see my first woman without her breasts. And that was so impactful for me. And what was incredibly impactful over time was seeing how this surgery affected her on just about every level, body, mind, and soul. And then I had another patient come in who said almost the same thing. There's just not enough resources out there. I don't know what to do to heal after this surgery. And I had an epiphany where I got to see, or I got that sense of inner knowing, this is a demographic that really needs supporting. And in the years since, I've done a ton to provide resources. I'm the founder of the Mastectomy Guide. My name is Erin Price, and this is training massage therapists how to work with the breast surgery demographic, whether through breast cancer, transgender top surgery, elective breast surgeries, because breast health is so, so critical. So with you fine people being here today, we are helping to cultivate that conversation around breast health, which is so important and, you know, lacking somewhat in our society. So we are doing our best to fill it in. And with you being here and being a part of it, then you are also helping to foster that communication, the education, and the support around, you know, breasts and healing from breast surgery and breast health in general. So thank you so much for being here. I will pass it over to Dina again, who's going to introduce Melissa, I think.
Thank you, Erin. Great story. My name is Dina Lageland. I am a registered nurse and a certified transformational health and life coach. And I too am a breast cancer thriver. I was diagnosed with HER2 triple positive back in October 2016. And I decided through my cancer journey that my fears is what almost killed me, not my cancer. And how I turned my journey into what is my passion now is I help women in remission conquer their fears that feel toxic like their cancer. Because our fears truly paralyze us from taking the next step to living the life that we truly want to live guilt-free. And I actually started a coaching business called Wellness Warriors for Life. And I am known through my clients as the inner warrior coach. So that's a little bit about me. Now, I am so honored to introduce Melissa Deely. And there's many reasons on why I am just so honored to introduce her. I have known Melissa virtually since January of 2019. We both went through our certifications together in health and life coaching through the same institution. And not only that, she introduced me to these three lovely women, Anne, Erin, and Lisa, because she felt that we would have such a great connection. And look, here we are, the breast connection, prevention plus healing, because we truly believe that we heal and thrive together. And I'm going to continue my intro with Melissa because we also met through something called the Grand Connection, which is a virtual global networking community. So Melissa Deely is an integrative health practitioner and registered health coach, dedicated to helping her clients discover the root cause of her health issue and truly heal, their health issue and truly heal. Melissa's business is 100% virtually, and she works with the entire English-speaking world. Melissa offers a very high level of support to ensure her clients' success as we navigate the path, bringing the body back into balance, while creating new lifestyle habits to ensure lasting results. Melissa is also the winner of the 2021 Quality Care Award by Businesses from the Heart and has been featured in Brains Magazine, Pursuit 365, and Fresh Magazine, featuring 365 Canadian women who lead by example in the everyday pursuit of success, happiness, and achievement. Melissa is also the host of Don't Wait for Your Wake Up Call podcast, a podcast offering practical education around health, which ranked in the top 5% of global podcasts by Listen Notes in the first 3 months she launched this amazing podcast. When not serving her clients, Melissa can be found on her paddleboard and backpack hiking through the country of Canada and camping with her daughters or downhill skiing or even cross-country skiing. And she's always planning her next trip with her Girl Guides, which is the Girl Scout unit, or working her passion project, which gives me goosebumps every time I say this, Girls Matter, helping keep girls in school in Uganda, breaking the poverty cycle, one girl, one family, and one village at a time. Melissa will be speaking tonight about the role that detoxification can play in the healing journey. So Melissa, take it away.
Thank you so much, Dina and Anne and Erin and Lisa for having me. I really appreciate it. And to everybody else who's given up your time to come here tonight, welcome, welcome. I just want to start out, first of all, by saying that as an integrative health practitioner and as a registered health coach, I am not a doctor. I do not diagnose. I do not cure. The information I'm providing you here tonight is not medical advice. It is simply information in order to empower you in your health journey. It is my mission to work with people in prevention so that we never have to get to a state of illness or disease. But for those that are in that state, there's always options in bringing the body back into balance, at which point the body will heal itself because that's what the body is designed to do. So I'm working with balances in the body all the time. And tonight, as Dina said, I want to talk about the detoxification process, but I also want to touch on something that she just said, which was talking about fear. Because fear, anger, and stress actually weaken our immune system. 1 minute of fear, anger, or stress will weaken our immune system for 4 hours. But 1 minute of laughter will strengthen our immune system for 24 hours. So if you're in that stress state or that fear state, turn on some comedy, start some belly laughs because it will boost the immune system. And did you know that 70% of your immune system is housed in your gut? And so when we're looking to boost that immune system, we really need to be looking after the health of our gut. And my specialty in working with people on improving the health of the gut is starting off with a detox. And that's a functional medicine detox that Anne alluded to earlier. Because the reality is that in our world today, we unfortunately have 144,000 man-made chemicals that have been introduced since World War II. And my mentor, Dr. Stephen Cabral, he has written a whole book on it called The Rain Barrel Effect. I call it overflowing trash cans. Whatever it is, the reality is we can't avoid the toxins in our world today, but what we can do is choose to support our body more in getting those toxins out. And I'm just going to share my slide very quickly so you can see, hang on one second, see the screen of why our liver is getting bogged down with toxins. So these are many of the factors that are causing our liver to get bogged down. And when our liver is bogged down, it can't do the job that it's designed to do. It is designed to keep our body pure and clean and cleanse our blood every 6 minutes. And when it gets bogged down, it can't do that as well. And it has a harder time helping our body convert our toxins to being water soluble so that we can excrete them. And part of that is also due to a double whammy of nutrient deficient soils that we have and us not getting the nutrients for optimal phase 2 detoxification from our food. So I say that our liver is undernourished and overburdened. On top of those issues that are impacting our liver, we also have chemical toxins that are getting into our body through our skin, through many of the personal care products that we use. And when we put them on our skin, they're getting into our bloodstream in just 26 seconds without even the liver to filter them. And I'm not sharing this information with you to make you scared. It's about having the information so that you know, because when you know better, you can do better and you can make better choices. And the wonderful thing is today is that there are so many companies that are now making non-toxic products that you can be choosing to buy instead of some of the traditional products that you may have been using that may have been adding to the toxins, the toxic load in your body. So the reality is, unfortunately, we are more toxic than the human body was ever originally, back in our hunter-gatherer days, ever designed to have to deal with. And so this is part of why we see the chronic illness that we have in our world today, because that toxicity level is causing inflammation in the body, and that inflammation is causing cells to trigger disease. So if we can reduce the toxic load and reduce the inflammation, then we're also reducing the risk of disease. And in all of that process, we're also boosting the health of our gut and therefore our immune system. So in a functional medicine detox, what we're trying to do is put the body into a state of autophagy or deep cleaning. Now, how many of you, put your hand up if you remember feeling that or hearing that gurgling sound in your stomach, right? Now, do you associate that with being hungry? Is that kind of like, ooh, I must be hungry, I hear the gurgling? Is that what you've kind of been trained to believe? Me too. But the reality is that gurgling sound is your little cleaners coming out to play. It means digestion has finished long enough ago that we now have time to get into deep cleaning. And so once I learned that, I realized, oh, when my little cleaners come out to play, I'm going to celebrate that, and I'm going to give them an hour to do their cleaning job before I go and put something else in my mouth. The reality is through COVID in particular, when we've all been working at home, the refrigerator's just over here. We put food in our mouth and it might take, 2 to 3 hours to digest it. And guess what? We're back at the fridge getting more food to put in our mouth before digestion's finished from that original meal. And so then we're never getting out of digestion mode. It's just constant digestion all day long. And the body's not getting this chance to deep clean between meals, which is what should happen. So in the detox program, we're actually putting you into a state of autophagy for 2 days. And you might be thinking, oh God, I could never do that. I'm going to starve. But here's the wonderful thing. You get shakes, which are full of all the vitamins and minerals that you need, and a detox formula. So we're nourishing your body. So it's totally doable, but we're doing it in such a way that it's in this really diluted shake so that digestion doesn't even have to turn on in order for the body to absorb all that goodness. And so your body stays in deep cleaning mode. And the longer you're in that mode, the more it can clean up. So when you're in that mode for about 12 hours, then we're starting to get rid of some good toxins. And then at the 24-hour state, now we're starting to get cellular cleanup, getting rid of damaged cells and dead cells. And then at the 48-hour mark, the human growth hormone kicks in and starts to grow new cells for you, which creates new energy. And all of this process is a complete reset for your body. So what's happening here is that we're reducing inflammation, as I've said, which reduces aches and pains. We're increasing mental clarity and reducing brain fog because of that brain-gut connection as we start healing the gut. We're actually rebalancing hormones because the liver is also charged with excreting excess estrogen. But if it's bogged down and can't do its job properly, it's not able to do that. And in today's world, that's another issue that we have is women are often have too much estrogen because we get estrogen through our food. The body makes estrogen. We're also getting estrogen through some plastics and xenoestrogens from other toxins, etc. And if the liver isn't getting rid of all of that, we're having too much estrogen and not enough progesterone. And so relatively speaking, we're in a state of estrogen dominance. And this is a possible cause of breast cancer, a possible cause of type 2 diabetes, a possible cause of thyroid issues. And we know there's a connection. So when we know there's a connection, we can then choose to do more about that and make sure that our hormones are in balance. So the other thing is that renewed energy because of those new cells that are growing. And people love that. I can't believe how many adults were having daily naps until they started detoxing and getting those toxins out that have been bogging us down, and they don't need daily naps anymore. So something else that I want to ask all of you is put your hand up if you're wearing a bra. Some of you are. So Yeah. And is that bra an underwire bra? Is it a tight bra, or is it more of a loose camisole top? Because what we want to be moving to is getting away from tight bras, getting away from the underwire bras, because what happens is when the liver is bogged down and it can't actually excrete toxins from the body, it's very clever. It doesn't want them in our bloodstream either. So what it does is it stores them in our fatty tissue. And guess where we have a lot of fatty tissue, ladies? In our breasts. And so the toxins are sent up into the fatty tissue in the breasts. And then our lymphatic tissue, a drainage system, is right here under our left arm. And if our breasts are able to move freely and jiggle, it will keep those toxins moving and into our lymphatic drainage tissue. But if we compress them, we're actually keeping those toxins in our breasts. And then our breast tissue is becoming more toxic, which we don't want either. So that's a really easy takeaway that you can start tonight or tomorrow, is just stop wearing your bra when you don't need to wear a bra. Being in Canada, I wear a sweater probably 6 months of the year. So it's really easy for me to go braless. And ideally, I'd love to get to a point where society doesn't care if you notice a woman's nipples through her shirt. So we all have them. So do men. They get to show theirs. Why can't ours be visible, right? Instead of feeling like we have to compress our breasts. So a couple of other things when it comes to the health of our gut, sleep is really important. And we all need 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. You know, if you're healthy, okay, 7 to 8 hours. If you're feeling like you're unwell, 8 to 9 hours. When we get the sleep we need, we are supporting our overall health of our gut and our immune system. But when we're not getting enough sleep, we actually start to break down that symbiotic balance of the trillions of microbes in our gut. And our good, healthy bacteria dies off, and we start to create an imbalance in our gut. Stress does the same thing. When we're in that state of chronic stress, it is killing off the good bacteria in our gut. And again, we've been through a pretty stressful 2 years, but the reality is even before COVID, the world was the most stressed out that it had ever been. And here's another issue with stress. When we are in chronic stress, our brain starts producing cortisol and adrenaline in order for us to be able to flee or fight and get to safety. But in order for it to do that and give us the energy to do that, you've all heard stories of, the woman that lifts the car off her baby all by herself, right? To give us the energy to be able to do that, it has to shut down other systems. So it shuts down digestion, rest and digest. It shuts down our immune system. It shuts down procreation. So what's happening there is the body's producing cortisol and it needs to produce more. It stops producing progesterone. The body's still producing estrogen though. So again, that can trigger a state of estrogen dominance because of being in a chronic stress state, which just our world today is triggering in so many women. And these are things that we can lab test for. And I just want people to know that we can lab test for it, because again, when you have the information, then we know exactly how to bring the hormones back into balance. But starting that detox and ridding the excess estrogen is a really great starting point. Candida and bacterial imbalances can again weaken our immune system, and they are triggered by many things, including stress and poor sleep, antibiotic use, birth control, etc., etc. And so understanding the health of our gut is really, really important. So I just want you to have this information, because when we know more, we do better. We don't know what we don't know, but when we do know, then we can make better choices. And I just want to share with you a couple of stories of people that have gone through my detox programs with me. I've had 2 women very recently who, when they get up in the morning, couldn't walk barefoot on their bedroom floor to go to the bathroom. They had so much pain in their feet. And they did the detox, and in the first week, their inflammation levels came down, that the aches and pains went away, that they can actually walk barefoot again. And that might sound really insignificant to someone that isn't going through it, but for them, it was a really profound change. I had a lady that was barely eating anything because her digestive system was such a mess. And through the detox, her body healed enough that she could actually start adding in new foods. And she's ecstatic to be able to go out to restaurants again. And then many, many people at the end of the program just tell me, I can't remember the last time I felt this good. So when we look after our body and we give it the environment to heal, it will start healing. And that's what it does best. And we just need to know how to do that, because it isn't taught. I didn't learn this until I went back to school to learn it. And if you haven't gone back to school for health coaching, then you may not have learned it, which is why I like to share it. So thank you very much for joining here tonight. And I think we have a Q&A session before the end of the session too.
Thank you, Melissa. I've learned so much. I learned so much. It's amazing on how we don't realize the toxins that we even put on our bodies. You know, like you said, the lotions and the creams and the shampoos and the makeup. I never really realized it till a few years back myself. So thank you for that. Does anybody have any aha moments or a question you'd like to ask Melissa, or if something is coming up for you that you'd like to talk about? Go ahead, Anne, what do you got?
I have a question, and this is in light for everybody, and it's about the toxic load quiz that Melissa offers. So I took that quiz a few years ago and was like, wow, I live and breathe health and wellness, but my toxic load is still a little bit higher than I want to see it. And so I completed a 21-day detox in the summer of 2020, and it came down by 20 points. And
Wow.
I've been feeling amazing for the past 2 years, like amazing. And I was having chronic health issues prior to that. And I really, so I followed up by doing 2 7-day detoxes since the 21 days. But I'm proud to say my score came down dramatically. So I would love Melissa to draw light a little bit on what that toxic load quiz is and how it can be really enlightening to let somebody know where they are.
Sure, thank you. And I know you'll be posting the link to that in the chat later. And so I welcome anybody to go ahead and take that quiz. And it is enlightening and an aha for people, because so often we tend to discount our symptoms. And the reality is that our symptoms are our body's way of talking to us and asking us to do something differently. And yet we're very quick to say, it's aging, it's seasonal allergies, it's my genetics, and then not doing anything about them, right? And I like to say, listen when your body whispers, so it doesn't have to yell at you. And so if we actually take action at those early symptoms and pay attention to them, it's so much easier to bring the body back into balance. And when we don't, then later on, it's going to yell at us, right? It starts off whispering and gently touching us with a feather. And if we don't listen, we're going to get hit by the brick, right? So when you go through this quiz, it'll probably take you 10 minutes to do it. There's 105 questions, but you'll get the hang of the answers. Are all really similar. That you'll probably be going, oh yeah, I have that symptom. Oh, I have that. Oh, I have that. And it just brings it to the forefront of your awareness for you, and is a gentle reminder that, yeah, you know, my toxic load is a little bit high, and maybe it is time to do something about that. And it doesn't matter if your score's high, because then we can bring it down, right? As Anne said. And I've seen super, super high scores. And then I've seen very few people with a really low score. But I love seeing those ones too, because then I know those are people that are really taking proactive action in their health. So it doesn't matter what your score is. It's just that eye opener for you, that these are symptoms that you're experiencing and they're not to be ignored.
Melissa, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find out what products we all use that have the toxins in it, and which ones should we be using? Like, where do you find something like that?
Right. So there is the Environmental Working Group, EWG.org website, where you can look it up. But of course, not every single product is on that site. I personally have a list of like the top 10 toxins that you want to avoid in personal care products, etc., that if anybody wanted to reach out to me, I could share that with you. And basically, just like with our food, when we're reading labels, if you can't pronounce it, you probably don't want to put it on your body. And there are now a lot of companies that are producing toxin-free or very low toxic level personal care products. And I'm not that person that says you got to start from scratch, throw everything out tonight, and just, have this huge cost of buying everything new. No, but as you finish a product, replace it with something that is less toxic. So the companies that I typically am buying from myself are Young Living and doTERRA and I can't even think of the one where I buy my lipsticks and things right now. It starts with an A. It'll come to me. Melaleuca is another good company. And a lot of these are MLM companies. And I love the MLM companies because they're helping entrepreneurs, accidental entrepreneurs like Lisa. But they spend a lot of money on their research, creating really good quality products. And then they let them be sold word of mouth, and they're not spending a whole lot of money on this marketing spin, right? Because marketing can tell you anything. I've recently seen research that says Lucky Charms is your child's best breakfast. Oh. And we all know that is not the truth, but marketing is telling you that it is because it's fortified with all these vitamins and minerals, but there's no mention of how much sugar is on every single marshmallow that's in that box, right? So we have to be very careful of what we're told through marketing. And so that's why I actually like going to companies that spend the money on the R&D and then have affiliates that really know the products well and can share their information with you as to the quality of the products.
Wow.
That's what I do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Arbonne.
So much.
That's where I buy my makeup from. I think
That
there's
was
another one called Beauty Counter. I haven't looked into their products, but I have met with people that also tell me that their products are toxin free too.
right. Great. That's great information. I think we're ready for our guided mindful practice here with Melissa. She's got a little treat for us. So
I
Melissa,
do.
go right ahead.
And so Randy, you might want to have Suzanne listening in because this can help her too right now. So when we are in a state of stress, and we all have experienced feeling our stress levels going up and up and up, right? And it's not a great feeling, but what can we do about it in that moment? We always have our breath with us, and it's free. So I love this particular technique at helping to calm our fight or flight system. And it actually tricks our brain into dropping us into our rest and digest parasympathetic nervous system. So I'm going to walk you through it first, and then I'll explain why it tricks the brain into doing this after the fact. So if everybody can just get really nice and comfy, if you're sitting, as long as no one's driving, you can close your eyes. And I'm going to count us through 10 cycles of what I call 5-5-7 breathing. And just allow yourself to relax into this. So we're going to inhale for 5, hold for 5, and exhale for 7. Okay? So inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And anybody want to share how they feel as a result of taking a few minutes? Go ahead, Lisa.
Hi, Melissa. Thank you so much for everything that you did and for guiding us through this mindfulness practice. I think, I feel completely melted kind of after. It's just floating. I feel like my brain has more oxygen to it.
Definitely.
Physically, I'm not feeling that I'm holding anything. And I think these kinds of practices are so, so important just for our health in general, but especially somebody that is going through any kind of health challenge. It's so easy for us to, I'm sorry, that's my daughter in the background. It's so easy for us to get caught up in this continuing to go and like a snowball effect and having that feeling of just being overwhelmed, that sometimes it's just a great reminder to just tell yourself stop, and you can do something like the 5-5-7, and you can come back to whatever it is that you need to think about or bring yourself back to. And it's just these things are so important. And especially when you talked about that 1 minute of fear, how much that can impact you, but how much 1 minute of laughter can protect you.
Yes.
And so it was just wonderful. So thank you so much for doing that with us, Melissa.
My pleasure. Would anybody else like to share? And then I'll just quickly explain why that is so effective in dropping us into our parasympathetic nervous system.
I like to share.
Sure.
I've been going through a few things for the last couple of days. My husband got sick and he's in the hospital. And the stress of the last 3 days, sitting here right now, has just kind of like, I feel like I can deal with what's going on a little bit better. And I actually felt the stress that was in my shoulders kind of like just kind of go away.
Exactly.
That I felt so relaxed. And I'm like, if I stay like this in a couple of more minutes, I'm going to be sleeping. But thank you, Melissa. It felt like I really feel calmer now too.
I'm so glad to hear that. And what I really love about this is, as I said, we always have our breath with us. So you can do this anywhere, anytime. You can do this to help yourself fall asleep at night. You can do this if you wake up in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep because your mind's already started wandering onto what you have to do the next day. Because it's actually really good at distracting your mind, because by the time you're counting, on your fingers or in your mind, the 2, 3, 4, 5, then you have to count the cycles, right? So I don't know about you, but I use my fingers to count the cycles while I'm counting the 5, 5, 7 in my brain. And all of that is enough of a distraction that my brain forgets about whatever it was that was stressing me out beforehand. But what else is also happening is that if you were having to run away from a lion or a tiger, right? That's what the brain thinks is happening when we're in chronic stress. Whether it's, none of us are ever going to have to hopefully run away from a lion or a tiger, but the brain doesn't know any different when our stress levels get that high. And so it's trying to give us that energy to escape. And if we were really running away, we'd be panting, right? So the fact that our exhale here is longer than our inhale is what makes the brain go, oh, I thought I was stressed out, but I'm breathing like a safe person. I must be safe. And that is what then allows it to turn on our rest and digest parasympathetic nervous system, and for us to feel the stress move away from our body. And it doesn't take very long. That took less than 5 minutes. You can do it driving your car. I have clients that I tell them that they're in, kind of toxic work environments. I'm like, just go into the washroom and shut the cubicle door and just breathe, right? We can do this anywhere. And so that is the power of our breath. And when we notice our stress levels going up, just take that 5 minutes. And even just taking that 5 minutes for yourself, it actually has you be more productive afterwards. Because when we're in that stress state and in overwhelm, we can't focus properly anyway, and our brain's pinging everything here and nothing's getting done. And when we allow ourselves to calm, we can come back with focus and get a lot more done. So that's the power of 5-5-7 breathing.
That was fantastic. Does anybody need or have anything else we want to add to this 5-5-7 breathing?
I have one quick thing I'd like to share. So I remember, 4 or 5 years ago when I was going through chronic health issues, it was so overwhelming. And then when you're faced with something as big as a cancer diagnosis and you have to make these huge life decisions and you're in that cortisol fight flight, our brain can't think clearly. And so this is a powerful technique that Melissa just shared with us that's free, that we can stop and just do, because I just noticed, I'm feeling relaxed tonight already, but the mind just expands like a parachute and the body just relaxes, and then your brain can think more clearly. Okay, what is my next step? And so for anybody on a healing journey, whether it be cancer or something else, like, just what a reminder to bring your cortisol down, relax your body, relax your brain so you can think clearly. And it's not about knowing the next 10 steps, but what is my next right step? And so that's just the wisdom that I want to share from my own healing journey, and how it's just to know that what is the next right step, just one step, and how can I bring my body out of fight flight? And this is a great way to do it. So thank you so much, Melissa.
You're very welcome. That sounds like a great one-liner for Randy's book. What is my next right step?
Yeah.
I love it.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So we have 5 minutes left, and I would love to wrap this up. And on behalf of myself, Lisa, Ann, and Erin, Melissa, thank you so much. It was an honor having you as a guest. And it was just something that I truly believe that we needed to hear. Okay.
Well, thank you very much. It was an honor to be here and be part of this with all of you. And I'm so proud of what you've created in the last 6 to 8 months. It's really impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. Just want to clarify a couple of things or go over a few things. Our next meeting is on Tuesday, May 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I am happy to say that our co-founder, Erin Price, will be speaking. Okay. Erin is a registered massage therapist and the founder of the Mastectomy Guide. And Erin has a passion for helping underserved populations and focuses her efforts on providing more resources for breast surgery rehabilitation, whether due to breast cancer, elective breast surgery, or transgender top surgery. She provides high quality, evidence-informed certification courses. Erin trains fellow massage therapists to support people going through breast and chest surgery, as well as provides virtual home care support programs that people can access to no matter where they live and where they are. As a professional healer for more than 20 years, and by being the founder of the Mastectomy Guide, Erin's mission is to create a heart-centered network of trained professionals all over North America. So patients and professionals alike have the resources they need to feel supported, heard, and validated through their breast surgery journey. This is something, if anybody who has gone through any kind of breast or chest surgery of any sort should listen to this. So please pass this along. The Eventbrite link will be in the chat, and so you all could register. All right. And also, I believe Anne or someone put in all of Melissa's links to all of her toxic load quiz, her email, website, all of her social media, and even her podcast. Melissa, I believe you are also doing something May 3rd or 5th?
May 3rd. Yes. Yes. Thank you. That is the date for my next group program starting on my Health Kickstart and Detox. So it's a 5-week program that includes the 21-day detox within it. The first week I'm setting you up for success on the detox, explaining how it all works. And the second week, we dive into nutrition and the right way to eat for your body. Week 3, we dive into digestion and making sure it's turned on when we're eating, because so often we're in the stress state and it's turned off. Week 4 is how not to retox after your detox, because you didn't just do all of this work to go back to the way things were. And then week 5 is sugar, because sugar is in everything. And how can we lower where sugar is getting into our diet, and just being aware of where it's sneaking in and the changes that we can make. So I can drop that link in the chat too, if anybody's interested in checking that out.
Yes, please do. Thank you.
Please. And Dina,
yes,
as we close up, I would just like to bring up the founder slide just so that we can do that. And so everyone can see all of the co-founders. And so just give me a moment to do that.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Okay, so this is basically just so that everyone, and I think many of you here know that the 4 of us co-founded this. And again, without Melissa Deely and the Grand Connection, we wouldn't have come together to create what this is. So all of us are so excited. So it's Erin Price of the Mastectomy Guide, Dina Legland of Wellness Warriors for Life. It is Anne Crook of integrativeradiance.com and myself of lisacasenti.com. So all of our links are here, and we just thank you so much for being here. It was a beautiful, beautiful event, and Anne, it's amazing that it is commemorating your 4-year anniversary, which is tomorrow. So let's all just send a lot of love and light to you. This is a huge milestone.
Thank you so much, Lisa. That means so much.
Well, thank you.
With much gratitude.
Oh, great. Thank you. This was wonderful, everyone. And we hope that you will join us next month.